Good morning. Here we go. Another day with Mr. Schizo. All right. Good morning. Hey, 1 second, guys. Another day. All right. I opened up YouTube. All right. So this is one of the stocks. It looks like a relatively new issue and looks pretty darn good. Huh? IQ. Nice retest and up and pull back there to minor support, push up here, and it's up a little bit. So looks like it's headed for new all-time highs. I got that on the list to see how it acts here today. But this is pretty interesting. Right? I don't know what it does yet, but I'm going to find out. So markets are recovering here this morning from yesterday's news-related whatever. And so far, while it's a stabilization, you know, how we look at things, wide range bar, where are prices trading? How deep do they get into the wide range bar? So far, this morning is staying in the lower third of the wide range bar. It's below this little minor resistance area there. And here's a little lesson in minor resistance. So minor resistance is defined as the area that was support that's beyond what is directly to the left of current prices. So it's a bit subjective. But when you're looking at a higher time frame, in this case, the daily, sometimes you can't see what's here. And so as we look into the intraday time frame, we can see what's directly to the left right there and what the S&Ps are reacting to in the moment as far as a stall. So they're stalled here at this prior high, and that makes total sense where they dipped down, pushed up, that resistance, and now the question is, does it roll back over or does it go sideways and absorb this supply, which would be bullish, and then open up the door to potentially retracing further up to the next reference point of resistance. So we'll see how that plays out here. The depth of retracement between major resistance on this time frame and this low is bullish because it retraced 100% of the prior decline. Indicates strength. And while this big move down suggests lower, we now observe what's going to happen in the shorter time frame, whether we get bullish price action, which then, as I said, could open up the door to a move higher to the next reference point. And we'll see whether prices stay down here in the lower third or whether they can retrace deeply into this wide range red bar. So the short answer to all of this is that the expectation for any significant move at the moment to the upside should be quite limited. And what could move things to the downside at this point? Well, some other news event. At this point, most times after the wide range bar, you get a narrow range bar, which means we could just be in for another boring day of chopping within the range. Now, that being said, the Qs are improving and they're still within the range and they're in the upper part of the range. So clearly relative strength within the NASDAQ, internet stocks, technology stocks. That's what I wrote about in Monday's letter. And that's why we're still long XLK, expecting it to go higher. And we shall see. The NQs were able to push above this resistance area right there, but they're still within a range. So still just kind of sideways, running in place. And we shall see. We'll monitor what's happening and one of the things we'll definitely be monitoring is financials, how they recover from yesterday's beatdown. Do they start to turn back up from here? And looking at XLK, XLF, where are you, XLF? Right here. Okay. We see that, this year, over the last couple of months, every time this ETF has been down at this level, buyers have stepped up. And so kind of what I call kind of like a minor bottoming tail bar there. And then a full bottoming tail bar on that dip, which took out the highs, and now back down here. So it got erratic on this breakout that failed. And then the news drove it down yesterday, as you know, on huge volume. So, the big money was reacting to the news, getting out of the way. And so now we'll see whether they want to step up here and reestablish positions or add to positions, whoever was buying down here. And we'll see what kind of price action we get down here. So, looking at the usual, we can see they're trading here this morning. And we've got a little bit of a bounce going on in JP Morgan, nothing of any real significance. And Bank America, right, same story. Citibank, which got hurt a bit worse, but up here. So they are beginning to stabilize. The CHK, not energy, of course, not financial, but in the list here. And so we shall see how these all shape up. The Dow, same as the S&P as it usually is. A wide range bar down, stabilization here. Not quite as deep into that resistance. And so we'll see if it can get in here or whether it's going to, roll back over. So we shall drag that down there, and we can then make a duplicate line and put that right there. And the buyers back away and sellers take over and go back down. It's going to be a wait and see. That's, what I've said yesterday and probably the day before that is that, first thing in the morning here, it's going to be 5 to 30-minute waits to see what's going on unless something is really jumping out of, and saying, hey, I'm on my own page here. That was really Twitter yesterday, which, remember I said if it can get above 3275, and not only did it get through 3275 in a questionable market, it just ripped higher and it just kept going. And then we were able to get in on that 5-minute pullback, which was another surprise that it didn't do a retest. It was in the list here earlier. This is a nice little scan that's in here, but unfortunately, and I've asked them the ability to sort this, and you can't. You even had to set up not complicated codes, but to color code it so you could know what was up or down and whatever. I don't know. Anyway. So Twitter's up here a little bit, trading inside of this range. It'll continue to be one of the ones that we're looking for to go higher. And maybe today will be an inside day. We shall see. But, you can see right now it's backing off a little bit here. We'll see how much this holds up. And what else here? Bonds are backing off a little bit, pushed up into resistance, wide range bar up, and pulling in here a little bit. They're sitting on some support here. And oil, that got shellacked, and it's stabilizing here on this shelf. And when they come down this way, as hard as this did, and vertically to the downside, it's rare that they ever go right back up to the high without a lot of chopping around and rebuilding, repairing the damage. And sometimes they go right back down. They go even further down. So we shall see. And we've got a reference point there. And then we've got one further down here. So what we do when we look at our charts from our main time frame, in this case, our daily here, is be aware of our reference points, and you can set alerts at those reference points. And depending on your platform, right, how you do that, you should know. Now there's an alert on that line, and that one's now highlighted, and now there's an alert on that line, and I forget about it. Let the computer monitor it. Gold, chopping around here, really not doing much. I have no interest in it. It's just sloppy. And keeping an eye on construction, and had this deep retracement. Nothing really to do here, but if it can go sideways, that's going to open up the door to a long trade in this ETF. Looking for it to move higher. So we'll see how that goes. And, the dollar has been on a tear. It's down here this morning. Whether that helps, we shall see. And, so if you're a currency trader and you were short on this fabulous move to the downside, you're going to have somewhat of a retracement here. And this is retraced already relatively deep into that wide range bar to the downside here on the euro. And Canada, nice little bounce there. Not all that meaningful on the daily, of course. British pound, not much of a reaction. Australian dollar. It didn't get beaten down as much. And the yen here, moving up. So, and by the way, we don't really focus on Forex here, but these currencies that trade in futures are much more attractive, I think, than trading Forex. But that's another story. All right. And we looked at Twitter and it just popped into the list over here. So we'll see what happens in the next 5 to 30 minutes after the open, how things shape up and where things are going to go from here. And so with that being said, take it away, Dan.
All right. My pleasure. Good morning, everybody.
Maybe Dan stepped away. Okay.
All right. So I guess Greg doesn't want to hear about my awesome review of open trades and gaps. Let's begin. Open trades. We'll go through these quick. XRT. Wow, that's consolidating well. We have a covered call. Looks great. Intel triggered yesterday, but we also had an existing one. It's gapping up here to 55.70. Our long entry on the stock was 55.51. And I know some of us in here shorted a new put spread. CSX covered call, doing great. I need to do a lesson on that ever since our entry in management, and we sold 3 covered calls on it now. Yeah, I'm going to do that. I got to write myself a note. GE Dog, JPM or Goldman, whatever, was bashing it some more, but it's not gapping down. So that's a good sign if something doesn't go down on bad news. S-Fly, put spread, it's hanging on by a thread. Bib put spread, we have 2 different expirations. Those are doing fine. SPWR, longer term put spread based on the monthly. Twitter put spread doing fine, gapping up a little bit. Tesla did not trigger. And, I still left it open there, see what will happen. that would be a bear call spread under the low. Facebook triggered yesterday as a put spread. Moss triggered yesterday as a put spread. Nike stopped out, so I need to take it out of this list. Stopped out of both trades at a nice gain. I sent a letter out to our subscribers of the advisory letter, SQ from yesterday, and I made the entries conservative because I understand, we have a gap up today, and Greg just reviewed it all with you. That does not mean I'm all out bullish right now. It just means I'm selectively focusing on just some of the ones we were looking at yesterday, and SQ was one of them. So I said over yesterday's high, then we'll sell a put spread. Roku, gapping up a little bit here. That's a small little cup and handle right there. See, I like the handle to be smooth like that, a smooth handle, controlled. It's extended, of course, so I wouldn't trade the stock at all. But, for a longer term, nice bottom, we're going to be looking at a put spread on this. Intuit was our strength from yesterday. You can do two trades. You can do selling out of the money put spread is fine, but we were talking about it as being a directional because it's so strong. So I'm looking over the high. The in the money calls were very spready. So we're recommending a covered call. So that's buy stock, sell out of the money call to reduce our cost basis and give us that cushion for it to go against us. CRM is an earnings stock, gapping up to all-time highs. I'm looking for put spread 30-minute high. I'm not sure what the premium will be at that time, but I gave it a limit of 50 cents for way down here, the 125, 120s. But that will be in one of my thumbnails here to watch. Another one I'm just watching is this ADI. I saw it gapping up a little bit. And it's just consolidating. It's in a big monster trading range on the weekly chart here, but it's overall very bullish. So if it can continue to go sideways here, and if we get some strength in the market, I'll keep an eye on this one. All right, that's it for opens. The Qs did not trigger yesterday because it was over Friday's high. Google was invalid, took out the stop first. Microsoft is still a valid trade over Friday's high. MGM is still valid under the lows as a short. COM did not trigger, and that's a short under Friday's low. That's still valid if it triggers. Let's look at some. Oh, I also posted this little LB that I was talking about. Just, I didn't give it official, but I said, hey, it's gapping over the high of Friday and Mondays or Tuesdays. 2-bar high here. This ABBV, I'm going to do a chart lesson on this. I meant to do it yesterday because I'm going to show you the difference that Greg and I are always talking about of high implied volatility versus where that volatility is ranking. So the implied volatility rank for that stock. But it's gapping up here on some news. It had a midnight deadline about responding to some buyout offer. So it's gapping to 102. And that's not a quality equity trade at all. I just had it flagged when I was scanning my high implied volatility scans. And this had an implied volatility rank of 94%. And that's why I'm watching it. So I'll be interesting to see how much the premium is sucked out here at the open. I'm going to put that in a window. All right, Square, we talked about. CRM, we talked about. Well, I didn't show you CRM. Yeah, I did. So that's earnings. Cores, gap down on earnings. 63.65. Very bearish gap, but it's one of these that are sandwiched. Support and resistance. So I have no idea what to do with that. HPQ earnings 22.40. That's a bullish gap. No quality pattern, but possibly the way it's acting here pre-market with strength, possibly my inclination is a put spread 30-minute high. So I just paint a picture in my head and let's see what happens. This Canadian banks, crapped out yesterday with all that worldwide news, but earnings today. There's no pattern at all on the daily, but I like this gap up on the 15-minute chart. So possibly you could get a day trade out of that, but I'm not interested. Intuit only up 30 cents. ESLT, whatever the heck this is, never heard of it. Downtrend daily, downtrend weekly. Look at that beautiful double top. Now see, folks, this is part of just learning, and sometimes you hear me say things like, well, I've seen that movie, 100 times. So I know what is very likely to happen next. And that is the foundation of technical analysis. We're looking at candlesticks, we're looking at patterns, and they suggest future moves. And so even if we're talking about this as a gap trade today and, possibly put spread, whatever, but here are my multiple time frames, as you know, and this just jumped out at me. Like, wow, look at this double top. Look at this beautiful double top on the monthly. That's an M formation. And then it had the inside bar. If you had a long-term trade on this, your stop loss, at least for half is under that prior bar's inside bar's low. Your other half is this pivot low, because it's still in an uptrend. I'm just talking about there's signs here that it's petering out. And then you drop down to the weekly to get a microscope of that. But in any event, that was just a little side comment. 120.64. So it's gapping up. Shoot, what? It's gapping up here. Nothing to do now, but we'll come back to it. Roku, we looked at DKS earnings, Dick's Sporting Goods, very bullish. Look, I got to go to my weekly here, or I can even go to my monthly. 37.47. So it's gapping way the heck over here, over this lower pivot high. Like this is a downtrend, lower lows, lower highs, declining 20.50. It's a pro gap, but I don't know what to do with it right now. So we'll come back to that. DSW 23.85, so it's gapping under 24 here, very bearish, but same thing. I have resistance above, support below. That was actually a nice bull. Look at this. Here's just another chart example. Look at that beautiful 1, 2, 3 on the monthly chart. Following, it all started. Here's bar by bar analysis. Wide range igniting, bearish 1, 2, 3, 4, triggered, right? See this tail, triggered short, closed with a big bottoming tail, green bar, red, green. That's the bear sandwich. Still consolidating, building support over time. Higher low, wide range igniting that closed above all these resistance bars. Inside bar, wide range igniting. So that actually is a bullish pattern. This engulfing right here, your long entry was right over this weekly bar. That was a nice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 week consolidation in the upper 50% of this bar on volume. You see how the patterns just scream at you. And I told you yesterday, we give objective information. And that doesn't mean it's going to work, of course, but you know, I just don't make ludicrous claims like this is going to rock 10% quickly. I mean, that's just a preposterous statement. So in any event, back to here, it's a mess, a total mess. I need to come back and see what you're doing. CHS, it's gapping. Wow, it's gapping here at 840, but it's kind of excessive. So are buyers going to step up? And if not, if this consolidates at the low here, even using this pre-market data, right? Here's my 15-minute chart. If this cannot bounce over 860 and go sideways for 30 minutes, then this is very weak. I mean, it could be, look at the weekly, it could be going down to 750, 7, or who knows, maybe out of business. I don't know. Maybe, you know, look at this prior low was $2. So maybe not out of business, but you know, a fantastic reward to risk trade. I'm going to put that in a window. All right, perfect timing. 9:29, let's just check. Okay, spiders here. Nice controlled kind of pullback. 2 bottoming tails. Still on a watch. This is a good 30-minute watch day again. You know, we're going to have resistance here at the unfilled gap, but the fact that it's going sideways at this resistance right now and negating yesterday's pain, potentially, you know, it's not negated until we fill the gap. I mean, that's a positive sign. So I'm not rushing, but we have our watch list, we have our opens, we have, let's look at the others real quick. Diamonds holding, Qs, deeper, look, the Qs. Look how the opening gap here, the opening gap did fill the gap. So it negated, you know, yesterday's bearish bar at the pre-market gap up. So that's stronger again. So I'll be watching the Qs. What else? IWM, nice gap up. Look at that, that's stronger even. Now this would be a great put selling candidate over, you know, 15 or 30-minute high. Oh, and whoever sold, was it David? I forget who sold those SPX puts. Nice job on that. That expired today. All right, the low of this is 160. Let's see if there's any juice for Friday. I see CRM coming in fairly hard, so there's nothing to do there. IWM Friday, come on. 160 is only 19 cents. But this is, yeah, I mean, well, today's Wednesday. We could, you know, check out selling some spider puts that expired today. Maybe 30-minute high, and I would use my pre-market data. So I would do the 270s over a 30-minute high. Let's see what we can get paid right now, just so we can have a, you know, monitor it. Not bad at all. The 270s are 37 cents. Folks, do the math on that. 10 lot, 370 bucks. Your break even is 269.63. That's over $1 away. You have $1.10 of cushion for 6.5 hours of risk. I like this. Let's just watch it. It's only 9:32, 38 cents now. So that your break even would be 260.62. That's why I love these daily expiring puts. but we don't need to do it 2 minutes after the market, but that's a watch item for me. Let's look at some of any opens here that need help. Intuit, look, Intuit looks fantastic. Look at all this consolidation. Actually, it triggered. So let's see what our, that looks great. I'm gonna put that in a window. Again, I'm not doing anything because of the big gap up here, but this is shaping up to be a 30-minute high day. This looks fantastic. Wow. Doesn't seem like it's very liquid or trading much. All right, I'm looking at Square. So look at Square, looks fantastic. I'm just seeing if there's any positions that need help. Oh, I might have forgotten about RTN this morning. We have an iron condor. CSX up 64. Look at this, looks fantastic. Now we have a covered call, so maybe 30-minute high, I have to buy the call back so we aren't limiting our gains. All right, so I can, so that, don't let me forget, because I want to cap my gains. Hey, our Moss, nice little gap up. Look at this big tail. I guess that was pre-market. Nitri, why do I, oh, that's Greg's Nutrisystem. We were looking at a put spread yesterday. That's why it's here. Let's CRM. I'm just curious what the puts are now. It looks like there was some profit taking there at the open, but I like the bottoming tail. CRM. Microsoft alarm just went off. CRM. We would do the 125. 125, 120 is 43 cents right now. Microsoft is just triggered the, I think, yeah, put spread or Microsoft doing well. Let's look at the broader markets here again. Still no rush. Look at the 15-minute chart. There's no rush. This is setting up to be a perfect 30-minute high day. Look at some of these fangs. All right, Tesla, I said I'm just going to keep it as posted for now. Amazon, that's shaping up. Look, pro gap kind of made a bottom here. Didn't rally very hard, bearish gap, made another bottom, gap down engulfing. This is a form of W bottom and on the rising 20. Bullish weekly and monthly. Keep Amazon as a long watch. Look at this CHS dog I mentioned. Look, did it not do, well, no, it didn't do exactly what I said, but let me rephrase that. I said if it can't get through 860, I was wanting it to go sideways for 30 minutes, but he doesn't care what I want. But that's weak. That is a weak animal. Allstate from yesterday, we were, watching as a bear call spread candidate. I'm looking. Our GE down 5 cents. Our Surefly here, it's still holding, and it's against us because we did it on this breakout, but we're only down like 30 cents on our put spread, and that's because of time decay. ABBV, look, here's our 15-minute pullback now. So let's check put prices now. Okay, let's look. $100 puts. Wow, it's still massive, but they're spready. The $100 puts are 50 cents by 1 1/4 that expire Friday. That's juicy, but they're too darn spready. I can't trade it. Let's see if we went out further in time, if they're more liquid. Yeah, they are. We could, the 97, the 97s, way, you know, under here even. Look, the 97s, they're right here at the 200 moving average, are 80 by $1. That I like, because that's far away, but not doing it right now. All right, Microsoft triggered. All right, our Intel doing well. Oh, that's Intuit. Sorry, I was mixing them up. Intuit looks fantastic. Yep. Now see, I recommended a covered call, which, you know, I did that because the market didn't look like it was ready to rip. But we took in like $2.50 on the call. So we got paid handsomely for it, but we're still capping our gains. Let's look at a put spread on Intuit also. For June, let's see, what strike do you want? If you're willing to buy, you know, you hear me say this all the time. If you're willing to buy the stock, then you should be willing to sell a tighter put spread. You know, the 195s are $1.55. But I like my comfort. I mean, my cushion. The 190, 185 is only 40 cents though, shoot. For 2.5 weeks of risk. But it's, you know, the 190 is way the heck down here. That's a lot of, that's $9.61 of cushion, which on a $200 stock is almost 5%. See how I just do the math in my head quickly? Yep, SQ dig trigger. Yeah, David, I think it was you who did the SPX puts, right? Yeah, I think I remember that name. All right, Q's, you know, stalling here. IWM, stronger. IWM looks great. That, wow, it's a little sloppy here on the, you know, this ugly red bar, you know, this and that, but it's an engulfing on the weekly, and it's a wide range igniting on the monthly. So once the market, you know, settles down, again, a 30-minute high, we've only been open 11 minutes. I like selling some IWM puts under yesterday's low. So that's a tier 1 setup here pretty soon. What else we got? What other tier 1s do we have? All right, Roku coming in a little bit. That was a put spread. Okay, here comes Greg. The MGM. Some of these fangs are coming in. Facebook selling off. Netflix. I still like, I've been watching Netflix for a pullback. I mentioned that these oil stocks so oversold. Hey, Greg, I think when we have time, we should scan the oil sector for a climactic on major support for a put spread because the volatility went up nicely. Look at the IQ Greg mentioned earlier. Look, the pre-market, bottoming tail, wide range, igniting, relative strength to the market. That looks fantastic. Stop under yesterday's low. I think I looked before and there's no options on it. Oh, there is. I remember saying something that I was adding this to my toy kit. Wow, this is juicy. Here, I got a trade for us, folks. The 2250s, way the heck down here. Hey, Greg's, when's earnings? The 2250-20 is 45 cents. I'm gonna pop that right now if there's no earnings. Come on, IQ. I'm showing April 26th, so we're fine. All right, I'm popping this right now, folks. 45 cents for the $2.50 wide spread. Is fantastic juice. All right, I got filled instantly, so try 50 cents. I got filled at 45. Here, I'm gonna do some more. I'll try it myself. I'm gonna try another lot. Yes, IQ. Can you see it on my screen? Midpoint is still 45, but I'm gonna try 50. Not filled. So 45 was the number. I'm gonna add at 45. All right, let me post that real quick. Okay, maybe it was what's on, yeah, IQ. Just look at the top left. $22. Yeah, June 15, yes. Here, I was typing it up here, Patrick. Yeah, so this is going to be for our main advisory letter, but I just gave it to you there. And Intuit, it's going, looks great. That's look at that CHS dog from that 860 that I mentioned. It fell almost $1. And for a stock at 860, $1 is greater than 10%. Wow. All right, I'm just getting this posted. IWM, let's it's 950, but let's keep an eye on that one. Hey, Dan. Yeah, nothing wrong with that, Dan. You know the drill. I've taught you how to calculate your own reward to risk on picking not only strike price, but on picking expiration. So once I teach you how to fish, which you do know how, absolutely, you can fine tune trades all the time. You can take less cushion for greater credit, vice versa. You could do a shorter or longer term. Oh, really? I didn't know that. I don't know what they do, candidly. I thought I looked it up when it was the new IPO, and I thought it was something China. I did look it up once, and when I told you I was going to add it to my toy box. All right, Square hit, that looks good. I'm a little behind on posting these alerts, but people have them. Fossil, remember I wanted this was like earnings around here, and I've been watching this to try to get us in core long because of the monthly, and look at that, I never got it. Well, actually I wasn't watching it, but your new entry was yesterday, and Greg made us miss it. Look at that 1, 2, 3 from consolidation. No follow through to a red bar. Your entry was over Friday's high, stop low. That was your entry. Absolutely. If we miss a good trade, it is his fault. All right, Nutri went too much, so I'm going to delete him. Whoa, look at this ADI I mentioned, pre-market. I didn't notice that gap down. Yeah, it looks real, because look, here's pre-market. It was up and it sold off pre-market. And then it ripped up. So now this is a bearish gap that bullies. I actually like it better now. I love bearish gaps negated. Let me check in the 93 puts on this. Mark, Q SPY's coming in a little bit here. So no need to rush into things. We're just doing our normal searching for plays, searching and managing. ADI. Yeah, ADI is juicy. I like this. We could do the 92. $92.90 is $2 wide, 30 cents. All right, Q's coming in a little bit harder, so I'm waiting, and it's still at resistance here. Still at resistance. Tried to break out and failed. You see why we love our waiting, particularly when it's not a clear bullish or bearish bias. We wait 30 minutes for the most part. The things that we triggered were all kind of unique, and I'm, happy with those. EXA looks fantastic. Bullish consolidation on the rising 20, small little gap. So that's a beautiful Van Pam, or Pond, sorry, I'll just call you Van. Let's time it a 5-minute entry with the market. It looks great. I mean, you come up with some great stuff. I like that both for a stock and option trade. I'm going to put that in a little 5-minute window. CRM is coming in too hard. CHS, I'm just going to get rid of him because he's too extended now. And I'm going to put EXAS on a 5-minute chart and watch a pullback. Let's see what the put department has for us also. If, 51s would be ideal. They're too, well, see, you gotta, look, here, I'm gonna show you my screen real quick. All right, look at this EXAS. So I'm looking out to June for the 51s puts. And you got to look at this. Look, so I said the 51s would be ideal, correct? But they're 50 by 115. Shoot. That's ridiculous. So I'm hunting it. So I know I'm dealing with some illiquidity. So that's just a warning right there. But let's see if there's a better choice. And do you all see the better choice? Look, look, 5 cents by 65, 30, 50, 35, 95, 30, 95. How about 50 by 60? So that is my best one, 50 by 50, 50 by 60. It's still 50 bid and it's $1 lower. But then my problem is putting on a spread. I need something that's tighter. So the tightest one that I have to try to get the best midpoint, unless you wanted to go naked at 55, is this one, 20 by 35. And that's only 25 cents, but it's a, so it's $2 wide, it's meeting my 10%. Man, I wish, but see, this is a problem where you can't get a good out of the money credit when they're so spready. Here's 10 by 20. What if I change the 48 to the 45? Okay, so that raised it to 40 cents, but now it's a $5 wide. Oh, well, so you get the, I just wanted you to see, you know, my analysis of how I pick some of these things, particularly when they're illiquid. And so now, you know, you can also play market maker, as I said, where you go low offer. Oh, I should have showed you that. Well, here, I'm just going to tell you what I'm going to do. So the 46.5s, and you know, the getting filled is, you know, not going to be great, but the 46.5s are 0 by 60. So I'm going to try to do a 46.5, 45. The midpoint is 15 cents. That's what I'm going to do. Try to make that the midpoint. I'm not filled, but that's because of the 0 by 60. Anyway, enough of that. But it looks great, EXAS. I have it on a 5-minute chart to watch it pull back. Yeah, well, it's extended. You know, it's up it's up 5 bars. And yeah, Dan and I stopped out of our iron condor yesterday. Let's look at some of these gapping stocks now. CHS, look at that. It just didn't do what I wanted. I wanted it to go sideways for 30 minutes. So he's gone. DSW, you know, we said gap and a support here, and I said it was a bullish monthly. It's a mess. I have no idea what to do with this. So I'm just going to get rid of them. I don't want to focus on tier 2 or 3. I want to focus on tier 1. So pro gap. Maybe if you get a double bottom on the 15-minute chart, it's still holding this wide range pre-market move, so that's bullish. Roku coming in. All right, so that was a put play. ADI we're watching. ESLT. I've never heard of this thing. Let me see if it has options and how spready it is. No options. So I'm just getting rid of you. All right, our Intuit, BNS is garbage. HPQ, look how crazy. Oh, that's the market open. I was wondering if they had an analyst report. But, you know, this is a picture of your dog. And you're telling me this dog is too dangerous. I don't want to play with that dog. Look at this. Coors is not having a good day. Wow, this looks like a long-term top here. 1, 2, 3 areas of major resistance. Look at pre-market, it sold off. It couldn't bounce. Well, the one little topping tail was its attempted bounce this morning. That is being dumped. That would be, even if you could go out to July and sell the $79 calls, I doubt they're going to be worth anything, but I'm going to look anyway. Nope, $80 calls are 0 by 5 cents. IWM, it looks great. I mean, I prefer a 5-minute pullback and the Q's stabilized a little bit more. Yeah, correct, Perry. So David, tell me what you're thinking on IWM. Day trade, swing trade, stock trade, option trade. It looks great. Let me see what, you know me. My go-to are just shorting credit spreads. That is my #1 stock trade. I mean, option trade. Doesn't mean, I obviously don't recommend other trades, but that's just my go-to. So what did we say? The 159s. I'm going out to the Junes just because they're more liquid. It's not bad here. 64. I mean, we're not going to get. So a $5 wide, 159, 154 is only 39 cents. Yeah, it's just not paying that much. Yeah. See, David, you exactly know how to make your own decisions. So that's fantastic. And that's what I was telling somebody else earlier. I forget the name. But you know how to fish. You know how to analyze. You know how to apply it to the charts. You know how to do what we do. I just don't know how long you've been trading, so I can't compare us, you and me, but from this point forward, it's just seasoning. I'm just guessing, but I probably have 50,000 trades, to my trading history. When I started with Greg, they and I'm not happy about this, they called me the commissioner. And it's because I was a commission generating machine, because I'd just see something and I'd pop it. I was a very active trader. Now I'm not. I just wait for my, because I was day trading back then and a little bit of swing. But now I love my credit spreads, and I will do a directional when it lines up, like Intuit. Looks great. EXAS coming in. So Intuit, I want a 5-minute pullback. It already triggered, but I missed it because I'm doing multiple things here. Wow, look at our bib. I just glanced over at our opens. Look at that beauty. I think now it's ready for blast off. Okay, we have put spreads in this, folks. I like this on a pullback. And let's add to our put spreads, all right? So I'm dumping CRM in my little windows here. Bib looks great. Let me check earnings to see how far we can go out. July 23. Okay, hold on. This looks great. So I need some more plays in this. So 282 is down here. So we could do 280 pretty easy. 16, wow, this is juicy, folks. The 280. Now see, here again, you can pick your own strikes. The 280, 270 is $1.20. The 275, 265 is 77 cents, but you have an extra $5 of cushion. So you pick the one you want. I personally like cushions, so I'm going to do some of these right now myself. And the midpoint is 70, but they're spready and the stock's a little extended, so I'm going to do a limit of 85 cents. So that's what I just sent an order at. But for directional, we can, you know the drill. You can buy the stock, you can buy an in-the-money call, you can do a bull call debit spread, you could leg into a diagonal. I mean, you, again, have all the tools here. Let me see what we have open. NTAP, yeah, it looks better. Yeah, I like this bearish gap that bullies. Yep, similar to my, I remember mentioning this the same day of my LB. See, I kind of like LB a little bit better just because it's more oversold. Look at the monthly, weekly, and it looks like it kind of has more room to go, which is why I picked LB myself, but this looks good too. All right, let me come back to bid so we can update this and then give another trade. All right, so we're in the June 15, 255s. Wow, that was a great trade. I'm just going to give them a new trade here. Now see, this is how we add to them. Yeah, Neil, I'm doing the June 15. And you, I'm doing the 275, 265 just for more cushion, but you can, go tighter if you want a bigger credit with a less cushion. And that's where there's no right answer, but we're teaching you how to make your own decisions. All right, so that's what I'm going to send a text on. See, I should have had an alarm on bib on all your opens. You really need an alarms up and down. And so I take fault on that. I should have, because then I just found it by glancing over at all our opens. our, this cake is our only dog, but we're still hanging in there. All right, CRM, I'm going to cancel the trade that I talked about because I said 30-minute high. And so there's two reasons. Number one, it came in too hard. And number two is there's no way we're going to get the desired credit. Snap's alive? I thought that I looked pre-market and he was a dead animal. He's limping. So he got out of the emergency room, you're saying? Let's look.
It's not ready for prime time, but it looked like it was going to go into a death trend, and it's holding.
Well, I think he's just on morphine, wandering around the hospital. I don't think he's out of the hospital yet.
I didn't know who the CEO is, but I guess they're all kids of these companies. But he was being interviewed. I think I saw this morning. Maybe it was on Fox News, and I forget exactly what they were asking him about. Facebook copying something about Snapchat, and he said they probably should copy our privacy rules or what have you. You gave him a good dig.
Nice. I'm just scanning I have this in a thumbnail. It's a perfect retracement here with two bottoming tails. But I would prefer a retest, a little double bottom, and then I'll consider a put spread. Yeah, David, that's well, yes. The answer is yes. We have two trades on there. We have a bull put credit spread and we have long stock. Now I know, when I talk about we have both, and I know sometimes you all get confused when I talk about open trades because we have two advisory letters. And we have a new third ETF investor trader, coming online pretty soon. So keep an eye out for that. But yes, this is a perfect directional and income trade. Yeah, that looks great. For an Intel, good question. And it depends on how much room. All text, you mean to the two newsletters, or do you mean, are you talking about you want, and it just as a reminder again, folks, if you can, in this chat room, make sure you have the addressees to all panelists and attendees so everybody can read each other's questions. But we started out with a stop way down here, 53.83. Because look at these wiggles. You don't want to get stopped out. But it depends on your trading plan again and how much pain you can take. And if you just use pivots, if you want to drop down to a smaller time frame and trade a smaller time frame, then that is fine. the answer. Yeah, today's chat. Yeah, so I just reminded everybody. Oh, that WWE, yeah, that's been a beast. Looks great. Look at that 15-minute chart. That is a very, very bullish consolidation right there. It looks good. It's to all-time highs. You know, it's just extended on the weekly, far from the 20. I think that's just your own personality. If you want to trade something like that, it looks great. Look, just because something looks great doesn't mean that I want to trade everyone. Yeah, and also on our trades, folks, we don't just blanketly give all trades to everybody. So, you know, we give you all separate trades, obviously. You know, Greg's giving them to you all day long. We have separate trades in the advisory letter, separate trades in the weekly, and, you know, that's just for obvious reasons. They're different products. This is a very bullish. So I'm going to check anyway what the put department would offer. Wow, hey, you got my interest, Sanjay, and they're liquid. You got my interest for June's, the 55. 55.50 is 65 cents. So the 55s are way down here. Our stop is going to be, you know, I'll give it 20 cents under this low. You know, the market's kind of just sputtering right here. But that's going to be the trade I'm going to post. Let me make sure. Well, I'm pretty sure that gap up was earnings, but let me just double check. Don't want to do something stupid. Yeah, July 25, we're good. So you see, even though I wouldn't trade the stock just because I can't fault you for it, particularly for a day trade. I'm comfortable. Wow, holy cow. The implied volatility rank is 98. And that is what's explaining. Now, see, you all can tell when I jump out of my seat and saying, this is juicy. I don't need to look at implied volatility rank for two reasons. One, I know it's going to be high. And number two is I don't care if it's low. And that's what Greg and I were talking about. I don't care if the implied volatility was 1. Why? Because I'm getting paid 65 cents a share for a 10 lot, and that is worth the risk for this pattern. But with the IVR 98, so this is just a big warning that it could have pending news because earnings are gone. Why is volatility remaining this high? I honestly don't know. But I'm just telling you, it's a warning sign. But it's a risk based on this pattern that I'm willing to take because I have $5 of cushion. But if you wanted to know for sure, you have to, you know, go check Google, you know, research it, go check corporate actions, go on the website, go watch a wrestling match and see if anything weird is going on. Exactly. Go call Hulk Hogan and ask him what's shaking. All right, market stalled here, so I'm going to wait on this. Or it could be one you just start legging into. Or try to leg into it at better prices. So the midpoint is 65. So I'm actually going to do that. I'm going to start legging, and I'm going to do a limit of 70 cents. and just see if I can start legging into it. But Sanjay, nice call. You come up with some good stuff. Yeah, call Vince. Call anybody. We're just trying to get information. Hey, Greg. Greg just gave me a private message saying he saw another service who is currently short WWE. And so, Greg, my question to you is, do you by chance know when that service got him short? Because I'm curious of the setup and their management.
No idea. It was just a recommendation.
Okay.
I was like, why?
Well, exactly. So that's what I always, I've been talking about the last day or two is we specifically tell you why we're doing something. And, not everybody else does. They just make ludicrous claims. And it's like, based on what? But I guess, it's just different personalities. And that's why it's up to, buyer beware to find the right mentors. Okay, so I didn't get filled on WWE because I was trying to do price improvement. So I'm going to just change it back to the 65 so I can start scaling in. And now I didn't get filled at that. So I got to change it to 60. Wow, didn't get filled on 60 either. But I'm not going to chase it. I'm going to leave it at 60. Yeah, okay, John, let me look. But so, Greg, let me ask you a question. Is WWE on its own page enough where we don't care about the market stalled here for a put spread?
Well, it seems to me it's so strong. Why would you choose a put spread? And I think if it actually fell apart, it probably has more risk than what you'd lose on a debit spread. Because that could be, I mean, if it gapped down to some disastrous thing.
Well, and that's what I was talking about with Sanjay, that it looks great, but that I can't trade every one. Is it a tad extended for a long, maybe for me, but maybe not for you and Sanjay?
It's not extended. It went sideways for a week. So, I mean, I get the idea of the credit spread thing, like, okay, if it doesn't go there, you get the money. But I mean, that's breaking out of a 15-minute thing. I'm not opposed to buying an in the money call. And, I mean, you know what you're going to lose. And I don't know.
Right. So that's the exact discussion we're having. And that's what I was having with Sanjay earlier.
Yeah. And he tends just in the money call day trade. So, I mean, this thing, as we can all see on the chart, wide range bar, consolidation for at least a week at the top. It's breaking out. Technical analysis 101 says, where's resistance? Oh, there isn't any. It should go higher. To where? Who the hell knows? Maybe it can go up another $5. Maybe it's stalled. I mean, it's like, we just don't know. Then you're in management mode, right? That's what we do.
Wow, look at this EXAS that Sanjay found. Jesus, that's nice. Now say here's another example. I everyone heard me. I had it in a 5-minute chart. We're waiting for a 5-minute pullback, and I missed it. Look, right in here, we were waiting for our little 5-minute pullback. But I wasn't staring at it, but with this engulfing bar, the red bar, your entry was a new day's high. But Sanjay, nice find.
I don't get credit for that one, Dan?
Nope, I didn't hear you talk about it.
Man, Snap is very alive.
Wow, I haven't heard anybody say
chasing that thing today.
Well, it was on my good high juice list. So let's see. Let me get this out on WWE.
Twitter coming back to life. It looks okay. It's fine. Anybody take the MGM? Doing nicely. Held up during a little chop in the market. The PFE's doing okay. Slow, but you know. It was a nice gap. You know, too many that focus on gaps. They think I've had a lot of guys that I've trained myself that they've gravitated to trading gaps in a even for them, and they admit it, a high tension way, meaning they're looking for 1 minute highs and 2 minute highs, which can work with the right gap, but they're like what I'd call on a white knuckle ride, you know.
56.
And a lot of gap plays, they don't have to be played in the first minute or two. You know, if you look at the PFE, it was a nice little pullback after a move up, and it's almost back to the high of the day. It's inching its way higher.
Now, when you go to the the county fair, is that where you get that white knuckle ride?
No, Dan, that was when I was a young teenager with a brand new license going down the highway at 130 miles an hour, holding onto the steering wheel.
Nice.
I'll tell you a story.
Nice.
This is a true story. I'm on the Palisades Parkway. That's a highway in New York where I used to live. I'm doing 120 miles an hour. No joke. State trooper pulls up behind me like I'm standing still. That's how fast he was going. Pulls me over, gives me a big earful, and tells me, "Get the hell out of here."
Yeah, you got lucky.
Wide range bar on the 5 minute of MGM. Take a little.
So today, actually, so far, it's been a lot more active than I would have predicted in terms of our new trades. Wow. Look at the Qs up 68 cents, but still in a range. All right. Intel up 70, so we're up 55 cents now in the long call. I mean, in the long stock. All right, you mentioned MGM. What else did you mention while I was writing that up?
Pfizer. I mentioned earlier, I typed it in, PFE.
All
along
right.
that on a 5-minute pullback.
Let's see, DCT. Yeah, not bad, Sanjay, but you know, resistance for me is too close away. That's, you know, that's just that's what I call a churning uptrend on the daily. It's sloppy, but you got rising 20, 50, and it, you know, you just trail pivots until it gets extended.
Shaq is doing well today as well.
The basketball player?
Yeah, he always does well. Shaq. I think it's a burger place.
Yep.
SAK.
Yep, it is. Yep, and that has room to go on the monthly. I like it. And I like the negated gap down.
Yeah. Momo lost its Momo today, but it's still on the list for maybe tomorrow. We'll see if it recovers.
Well, so do you like any trade in this on the track?
Not yet. It's at the top of the base. I'm watching it. See what it does this afternoon.
All right.
Stop on MGM below that 5-minute bars low, which is 3170-ish. Should have sold half as that bar was forming. That's what I typed in there.
Look, Facebook here building a little launching pad. That looks good. We're in a put spread from yesterday. Apple neutral. Netflix, you know, good building time. Tesla, I'm going to go ahead and cancel the call spread now. Amazon, I like too, as a launching pad. Let's see what we can get. Below 1565. Yeah, nice, Patrick. Yeah, I was kind of waiting because of the, you know, Qs and spiders stalled, but looks great. Yeah, hey Florence. No, audio's here. I'm just taking a break from talking so I can eat my granola. All right, market popping here though. I was wanting this to happen at 10 a.m. I mean, we've been fairly aggressive, but now would be a time to pick up another favorite long. Let's see if we can find one. All right, can you hear me, Florence? Let's see if, all right, cool. Yeah, well, I was just taking a break there. All right, let's go to our favorite list, you know, our tier ones, and see if we can pick up some more long exposure. I mean, well, let's look at the broader markets here again first. All right, Spider's still just range bound, but it's bullish. 15-minute chart. You know, we did the whole analysis, and now we're just filling the gap. And the daily's a mess, so I'm not going to go crazy. I think everything we've been picking on today has been uniquely better than the broader markets. Qs still look great. This will be a great afternoon trade, and this might even be a directional. Well, it is a directional. It's long Qs in our letter, but the entry was there. Which, if we just go sideways through the day and do an afternoon breakout, then we can change the entry to today's high. Oh, sorry, John. You know what? I did see it, and I just was trying to get us a trade out there. So yeah, it's a bearish retracement, you know, engulfing right now. It just depends how tight you want your stop to be, but today it's definite relative weakness. You know, it cracked this whole level of major support. So your next level of support is 56.50, and then the low 57s. So I mean, it's on this whole support area here. So I don't have a perfect answer for you of how to manage it right now. You know, when it cracked right here, that pivot, then you had a price void lower. Yeah, sorry, I don't have a perfect confident answer for you. All right, Intuit. All right, that's fine. CSX, remember I was saying that we need to buy back our calls. I just don't want to buy them back here at 11 o'clock with the spiders at resistance. But in the afternoon, if it closes well, then we'll buy our calls back. Oh, ADI made a new high because when I was looking at it earlier, it was, you know, right around here, 95.50. Wow, so it ran another $1.50 from when we spoke about it earlier. Let's look at some Dow stocks that are up well. I'm just eyeballing the ones that are up the most. UNH. McDonald's $1, it's still a dog. IBM is a dog. J&J $1, a dog. XOM. Yeah, oil is getting a bounce today, but there's still no patterns. No patterns. Boeing $5, but no pattern. And it's still tough here. Cat, nothing. I actually think the stuff we've been focusing on we have done a great job picking the best of the best. Let me see what we can get for this put spread now on this ABBV. It finally has a nice 15-minute chart. We could do this one for Friday. It's just too spready is the problem. The 98s are 15 by $1. If we go out to June, we could do the 98. It's just too spready. I can't mess with that. PG, yeah, it has a rounding higher low bottom here. It's just, I don't know how much horsepower you're going to get out of that. And it's still in a downtrend on the weekly and the monthly. I think the things we have been finding today are a lot better than that. You know, just compare it. Intuit, Bib. See, you saw me jump out of my chair on Bib earlier. EXAS looked fantastic. And it was just my bad. I was watching the 5-minute chart and I already talked about it. It didn't give us my plan A, but it gave a plan B. And that's this engulfing breakout right here. Because it was extended here. So I was wanting a pull back to 54 and, you know, for the bus to slow down and put out the red carpet for us to get on. And Greg was driving the bus with his white knuckles. And he's like, no, I'm not slowing down. And that's what happened when you got Greg driving the bus. LB. Yeah, okay. LB, a put spread is what we were talking about yesterday, and that's what I'm in, Cindy. So it's not clean for trading the stock, in my opinion, unless you're just trading the daily chart, and then it could be a swing trade, maybe to the low 38s. I could see that. But I don't like the day trade. So yeah, so that's fine. Wait for the afternoon and, buy the high, stop under Friday's low to start. And then I think it could get to the low 38s. Yeah, Kim looks great. Now, Greg, why would that not be a directional? I love the weekly too. Look at that, wide range, pullback, breakout, higher pivot high. This resistance, I see it, but it's not a big concern to me. I think this thing could go to 17 bucks.
It's all about the time. It's got a bottoming pattern, and they tend to be slower. Sometimes they pop, they come back in. It's all about the time.
Okay, so let me look. I mean, the 12 and a halves are nothing. The 15, 12 and a half, you have to go out to July. You can get 42 cents, which is good premium for $2.50 wide. But there's the 15, it's tight. That's the problem. But yeah, it's a great pattern for it. Target.
It's probably better for a swing. You don't have the time problem.
Well, I thought I just asked you that, and you.
Well, when you say, Dan, when you say directional, it never means buying the underlying.
Sure it does. We bought Intel. We bought into it.
Okay, but that's uptrends.
But so let's just go back to here. Do you like buying the stock on Kim?
As long as you're patient, bottoming patterns mean you have to be patient, which don't always mean, put spreads are fine for that. But as far as directional wise, yes, it's just bottoming patterns require patience because they're not in an uptrend, and they rarely have momentum. They do like snap today. It kind of comes out of nowhere, and then they kind of just die again. Not completely die, but they slow down. And so directionals, or with options, with something that the expectation is going to be slow, you either have to go out a ways so you don't get killed, so it makes it a little more difficult than just buying it and hanging on to it, which you might be lucky and hang on it. Maybe it's a few days, but it could be a couple of weeks or more. And of course, as long as it doesn't fall apart, you could always decide to kill it.
All right, we'll watch it into the close. I got Sanjay's EXAS going again. Look at that 5-minute chart. Yeah, BIOS.
I could find you a ton of stuff that could be possible put spreads. You got to go through them and look at all of it and make a decision.
Look at Facebook popping here. That looks great. Let's see if we can add. Yeah, let's add. Let's give a Facebook for next week. A $5 wide. 51 cents. All right, yeah. All right, for the weekly, yeah, I'm going to do the, oh, shoot, it's going now. I'm going to do the 182.5, 177.5 for next week.
Yeah, John, I still got the XLK looking good. I was thinking, hoping yesterday's gyration was just that. 1 second. Cues are coming back to the top of the range. Let's see what they do here. Coming into lunch. Well, not quite yet, but odds are that they're going to stall here. I mean, I saw the letter email that I sent out last night. It's like, these things with various countries over the years, they cause some shakes and bakes, but in the end, they turn out to be nothing as far as the broader markets go.
Yeah, but Greg, I hear you, but I know you didn't mean this, but you can't ignore it because, I mean, look, there was a lot of pain on, what was the country 2 years ago in Europe starting the whole, not Brexit, because that's Britain, but, that currency. Yeah, pigs, exactly. There you go. Portugal, exactly. That went on for a long time. So, we got to trade what's in the moment.
I don't disagree. I'm just saying, in the big picture, which is what I wrote about, it's meaningless. And it's, how do you handle it in your own trading?
I mean, I handle it. I don't. I just trade what's in the moment, what I'm seeing.
Right. So, I mean, what I wrote last night was to put in perspective what many were probably overreacting to. And you have to step back and look at higher time frames and say, is this something serious? And, as we look at higher time frames, especially from the point of view of everything getting erratic and whippy, so yeah, I mean, if you owned Citibank yesterday, it wasn't, a pleasant day for sure. But did you see something that wasn't right? It was already, they were already underperforming. So, so It was something to say that, look, as if you were an investor and you're in the markets and you're worried that this is something of a major occurrence, the market is going to get crash or whatever, 99.9% is not going to happen. And we always have a stop loss, whatever we are going to trade. Yeah, let's see where it ends up, David. AAP looks good. I just sent out a letter to the whole database, Pat. So, I mean, I know from experience it's probably in your junk folder. You need to whitelist Master Trader.
All right. Yeah, I'm going to hit the gym here. It looks like we're stalled here for lunch. So, we played the morning well, and it's not, look at WWE busting a move. It's not time to get aggressive right here. So I'll be back in an hour, and it looks like Greg's here to keep you safe.
All right, guys. See how the afternoon shapes up. This looks nice. It's slow. When you see reversals like this, and it's powerful. That's a powerful reversal. And now consolidated and starting to move up. So it's definitely one to hold on to. Did okay with the MGM, especially something with a daily chart like that. And I just liked the 5 minute and the way it held up there. And it had some room to pop. The wide range bar on the 5 was the, hey, take some money, and then trailed it out. The PFE was a gap play. 5 minute pullback into the open, bottoming tail bar. It's stalling out, but I'm going to hold on to it. I'll see. Hopefully it holds up here because of the gap. XLK is shaping up sideways. We shall see if it can get through this area. later today or tomorrow. Q's pretty much the same. Looks fine. Awesome, Cindy. Was pretty much a painless trade. It was definitely in question when the market started to pull back. But then we got, the additional information that it showed relative strength. I'm definitely going to add on the XLK. It gets above there. I'm just hoping that someone double bolted the door on Mr. Schizo. Twitter here, I still have, it's pretty erratic. Well, no, John. First of all, I am of the opinion that there are not many people that have my ability to observe patterns as I do, meaning putting together the different pieces of it. Now, not that that one is such a whatever difficult thing to read, something going sideways at resistance, but since most people look at charts through the shaded glasses of indicators and trend lines and fib lines and all the other garbage, they're often misled. So sorry about this noise, guys. That's why I haven't been talking. I told the manager to stop this. Second. Yeah, it's terrible. And the financials are starting to give it up again. So the 5 was starting to bottom there on Goldman Sachs, and now they're running away. This is what makes bottoming patterns difficult. You get these whipsaws. It's not, something that's in a tight uptrend. This grub is coming back strong. It's coming up into resistance now. But I want to see if this will hold on to its gain here. Hey, Fabio. MON. Yeah. Well, that's an odd pattern. Odd from the point of view that this wasn't a gap. This started here and just had this huge day, but it's really bullish. Wow. Look at the down day and then back up again and sideways, and now it's breaking out. That looks great. I mean, day trade, swing trade. I mean, I think that's an all-time high. I don't know. Back here, back in 2008, went climactic. But now, look at that big bottom. Wide range bar on the monthly, and now it's starting to move up. That's a core trade. But this is look, we know what interest rates did on the news, but they were moving up. So I think it's very possible that they recover. There's it'll take a little while. But look at all of this, I don't know, misleading information about market recovery prior to a year and a half ago. Interest rates were going down to flat. Commodities were doing nothing. Oil was doing nothing. And now you see something like this, breaking out on its way to, attack the all-time highs, this is more commodity related, and commodities really haven't moved. That's not the symbol. What's the symbol? I have it on another page. I think it was CCB or CGCG. Okay. Starting to bottom out here, but there's an ETF. But that's what you start to see when things really start to pick up, and commodities are going higher, interest rates are going higher, and that is where you can say, well, things are too good. Eventually, this looks great. I love it when they move up like that and they create support. I'm watching this one to see how it pulls back. Maybe it'll go sideways tomorrow. We'll see. But that looks great. Be surprised that this could do much more, but it's a start. It's a start. Messy. A lot of good looking things. We'll see how they shape up this afternoon. How bearish can you get when the Russell's making new all-time highs? There's no immediate resistance, Florence. Look at this bottom that it put in place here. And then, I mentioned the red bar being completely reversed. I think you just give it enough room, it'll be fine. This stuff that's over here, I wouldn't put much weight on it. Just focus on the action here. Does it hold here? So you got this move higher today. Does it hold above this low? Does it retrace? If it does retrace, how far does it retrace into this candle right here? That's the bar by bar analysis. Just looking over to the left, if I was going to put some view at a reference point, I would be looking up here, kind of like that area. And that doesn't ensure that it'll get there, but looking at this pattern, you just now watch bar by bar. You watch as it forms pivots and see what it does. We'll see if these start to break out. I mean, sometimes I'll even set alerts where maybe I don't have a real intent to buy it, but sometimes I set alerts just to be aware if certain things are moving. It's either a good sign for the market or even setting alerts below certain things. Here's a nice looking one. All right. Assuming it holds on to the gain here. Bottomed out, move up, attempt to go down yesterday on the fake news, and we're right back up again. Shaping up. Got some more work to do. Have a good afternoon, Perry. Most things that have the momentum starting to stall, that IQ is not. Wow. But Snap is stalled here. It's like a little breakout failure starting here in Snap. On the 5-minute. End tap starting to come in a little bit. You know, the wide range bar is a pretty good signal that it's, you know, on something that's run like that you should take your money or part of it. Now these scans, they're not done, but I look at them. Well, we got a topping tail on the day so far on this. I wouldn't short it or sell it, but I don't even know if it'll finish with a topping tail, but we'll see. This will update. That's why I'm not so crazy about bottoming patterns, because they're bottoming. You know, you get something that looks pretty powerful. It doesn't always fall apart, but you know, that is part of the normal process of bottoming. It's going to. Like JP Morgan reiterated that General Electric has bigger problems and they expect it to go to $11. We'll see. So far, it's got some decent support here. Maybe, I don't know. I have to see what it looked like when it got to $11, or if it did. You know, does it even have any price support there? I don't know how they're coming up with that price of $11. Does it make sense? You know, I don't see how it makes sense. I mean, maybe on some fundamental criteria. I mean, technically, this is the place. And, you know, this is really nothing, this overlapping area right there. And well, it could be, but I mean, if it didn't hold here, so, you know, it's going sideways here now for a few weeks, right? Actually, a few months. So if it doesn't hold here and it breaks below those lows, I mean, my next thought would be down here. So not that it has to go there, but this is where we start to utilize other tools, meaning you have to have a way to update information objectively. You hear me say that. So let's assume that it breaks below this low. And now we say, okay, this is where the next logical stopping point would be. Well, then we get into the concept of creating support. So let's say it's in the middle of nowhere and it forms a pivot, right? Higher low bars on both sides. And then it comes down and it retests it and buyers step up again and so on. And we say, well, you know what? I thought it was going to come down here, but now it's creating support over here. And if it can get above there, well, then it makes sense that possibly it can attack what was support that should now become resistance. Let's see what it does. So the course that I've created at Master Trader Technical Strategies, while it shows you patterns to trade, the whole focus of what what I've done for myself to try and figure out technical analysis is to put together all of these different concepts and explain them individually, and then take those concepts and put them together in a thought process similar to what I just explained. So that it doesn't matter what you trade, whether it's bonds or currencies, ETFs, Apple Computer, whatever it is. It's just a repetition of the same analysis on another instrument. And many don't get that, you know? It's like, what's the latest, greatest indicator of what's going to tell you the best trade or the surest trade? And look, it's human nature to fall into that trap because we all want to be told what we want to believe. I mean, if that wasn't the truth, there wouldn't be a new weight loss book or diet every year that sells. On my Twitter, not Twitter, I have some Twitter, which looks fine. Just an inside day here. Yeah, it's going to struggle, Peter. It's a bottoming pattern. Yeah. Well, those are the ones, they always put it back on, Pat. It's holding here. It's holding. So these drug stocks, they're all kind of on the same page where they're being bought today. Not in a huge way, but so far. I forget the symbol for that. Yeah, pharmaceuticals. Yeah, looks good. Looks good. Shakeout. I'll come back to this a little later in the day here. Let's see. I mean, it may be slow. I think this could be good for a swinger core with a stop below the base here. All right, sideways price action at resistance. Twitter's starting to look at this. Trying to break a move. Coming into the doldrums. I went up to yesterday's high. Let's see what it does. XLK moving up to the high of the day. Got to like that price action on the 5-minute. Sideways at the top of the wide range bar. But we got to put it in the context of the bigger picture. I mean, it's right up against this wall right there. But that's okay. It keeps coming back. When it goes, it should go with relative ease. And if it doesn't, something's wrong. But we don't know that before it happens. Yeah, that looks great. Really like that. Hourly, nice. That's nice. See, it's like no pain. Gets a little extended on the 5. It doesn't even pull back. It goes sideways. That is truly relative strength. And look, it already backed off from this area right here. Right, not quite into it, but it kind of touched the bottom of it. You couldn't fill the gap at all. That's great. You need 14 eyes to do all, be on top of all of these things. Boy, this grub is a monster today. Look at that 5-minute trend. Won't even touch the 20. Let's see if these markets can hold on to these gains today. Sloppy, but transports look okay. Diamonds, nice gap up, but looks like they're going to be the laggard. Things get going here. Qs look fine, but up into this resistance. So coming into this time of day, I mean, you wouldn't think that they can keep running or get through this, but they'll stall. Looks like that break to new lows is going to turn out to be a shakeout. Yeah, I don't, go after these type of plays where the 5 is shaping up like this because the hourly is in a downtrend and really hasn't had that long. But it could be a low here in these because XLF, which I had showed you, XLF, down near those lows on the daily time frame. So, and something in there is doing a lot better than those banks. Right? CME, look at that. Nice. That's the one I mentioned earlier. So I wouldn't buy this either, but it's the kind of pattern that makes sense for a put spread if the juice is there, as we say. Wow. Nice. That is usually let's see that 5-minute, that is usually a bad trade at this time of day to buy a breakout to a new high. Especially with the market at resistance. All right, guys, I'm going to knock off for a little while, and we'll see how things shape up here for the afternoon. See what holds up, what goes sideways. Wow. Look at this grub. That's kind of a climactic move there, right into lunch. Just kind of grinds its way higher in a power uptrend and then explodes. Yeah. What idiot bought that at 107.60 as a day trade? Anyway. All right, be back a little while.